Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Tuesday. It's June 21st. This will be our chart lesson for today. This was a really odd day. We spent the majority of the day between these two blue lines, but in the big scheme of things, this was your overnight low, basically, where your lows and your overnight highs were your highs of the day. We had a couple of trends that moved a little lower, and a couple of trends that moved a little higher, but we probably 90% of your price action during the regular trading hours was within 2076.50 and 2080.81 maybe. So maybe 5 points, something like that. I kind of like these kind of days because they're real predictable. You notice if you just bought every low, you just about did okay, and if you bought every high, you or sold every high, you did okay. So sometimes you got to understand when the low or the high is there, and it's not always clear. But if you follow the rules, and you can't hardly go wrong, especially if you wait on the reversal type patterns. But let me back out. We'll talk about the trades, and we'll go from there. Oops, I hit the wrong button there. But the first trade I saw was right here. You can see we got a trend working down. We came back. You had a nice setup right here, but it never triggered, and it kept going higher. You got a second leg up, and you actually broke this trend line. And we're just kind of going sideways. Notice the little double top, and you get that failed break, that bearish bar. Just go short right there. Put you a regular stop there as quick as you can. Um, Quick, easy move. It pulls back, and it tests that again, and it fails. So I like going short again. You're still trying to make a new low on this, and if it's a range day, you're just trying to test the lows maybe. Um, Another easy quick scalp. You don't get a whole lot out of either one of these, but this one you probably would have had a runner, and you could have ridden it down at least to this last low here, and you really could have held on all the way down to these overnight lows, and you would have been all right. But once it starts going sideways, I don't think it's worth staying in there. I would have exited right in here when it bounced, and you don't know that you got a. This looks like a spiking channel. It is a spiking channel. Notice that you got a. It was really hard to tell until it bounced here a few times, but you get a break, a move to a new low, and then it kind of reverses. So, and you start working up, and you really just kind of get back in the range, but you get a nice reversal here first. So, I do believe this was a spiking channel, and you get the break and new low. This one, notice we're just going sideways. I don't see any trades I like here. This looked pretty good here, but it never triggered. It actually did trigger, but you had another bar inside of it before it did. And I just don't think it was worth taking. If you took it, it would have worked. You would have had to ride this little pullback back, but it would have worked. And but I don't think it was worth taking. If it would have broken below right here, I'd say yeah. But when this just ended up inside and couldn't break below, and it breaks below and turns up. And then you don't really get a good signal bar here on the second entry. Notice the new low, pullback first entry, pullback second entry. Not a very good setup. Again, you could have taken it if you wanted. I don't think it was worth taking though. And then you make a, notice how you bounce again and you make a lower high, but you're having to get short right into that support, and you are making lower highs here, and you do have a confirmed trend line now. But again, I just don't think I would take it. I would just skip any of that past that long right there. And the only reason I like that long is you have that little failed break lower. You're going sideways here. It's a failed break lower. You got room to get out before you get back to that high, and that's all you get. Um, you might have considered going long here. You don't have a break of this yet, and you could treat this like a failed break lower. It's probably going to snap back at least to the EMA, but you don't have a break of this trend line yet, and it's pretty obvious it's in play now. So this one's like borderline. Um, but if I'm going to mark it, it's definitely got to be a little aggressive because you don't have a break of that yet. So I'll give it a green one. But here you got a break and you're moving to a new low, and now you got a new low in place for the break of this one and a new low, and then the break of this one and a new low. And look how far away you are from the EMA. And again, it's It's right down here even. You've actually, you're right in there. I think it's just a perfect double bottom. Yeah, you can see that, a perfect double bottom from the overnight low right there to here. It's not a great, it's not a real bullish bar, but it's far enough away from the EMA that I like taking that one just to ride it back to test the EMA if nothing else. But it shoots on through and it's just kind of going sideways here. You get a failed second entry long short right here. Notice the new low. It pulls back first entry, pull back second entry. But you got to go short right before that support. Everything's closing back above the EMA. It'd be more tempting to go long here, but again, you're right back into this. So I think you're better off just to sit tight. I did mark this one green. Notice what happens. You make another new low here, and then a first entry, a second entry, and it fails. So there's like a double failed second entry in there because you've got one here. But again, you're just so close to that high. If you could get in and you let it break here and you get far enough back in that you can get a limit order in here and get it filled before where you got room to get out before here, I'm okay with that one. But otherwise, I wouldn't take it. Once it does start going higher, if you're in that trade, there's your first leg. You can see that. So I'd be looking for a measured leg, and that's exactly where it goes. But that's your first break of your little trend line working up, and you move to a new high, and then it turns down. And so it's tempting to go short right there, but look at that trend line, and notice how it bounces off of it. And you don't want to go long there because that's right into that resistance of that blue line, and there's too much chance it'll fail. That's not a perfect signal. It's not a horrible signal bar, but it's not a great one, but it's just right into that, and this is a double top. Would have worked, but I wouldn't take it. I'd be looking for a short here, and you finally get a fairly bearish bar. It's a good bit away from the EMA. We've tried to go higher 3 different times here, so I like going short right there, at least for it to come back and test the EMA, but it may go all the way back down to the other side, which it does. And notice, and you get a close outside here, and you try to go lower. It's not a very bullish. You're just going sideways, so I don't like trying to go long there. But when you get that failed second entry short, again, I'd try to get at least, I'd let it break higher there and use a limit order and make sure you had enough room where you got in here that you get out before here. It did push on through, so it wouldn't have mattered, but you got to take that into account, especially with it kind of stacked up there. But notice that new low, pull back first entry, pull back second entry, and that's 2 fairly measured legs. But you get your trend line off those first 2 swings, and this confirms it. And again, as long as you get in before with enough room to get out here, take that. And this time we overshot it. This one's real close to being green, but we overshot here, and we're a long way away from the EMA. And so I like this one to at least come back to the EMA. And this one ends up going to the other side again. Didn't matter. Notice what's happened. You got a new high. You pull back, you get a first entry. You pull back, you get a second entry. It fails. Look how bearish that is. I like going short there on the trap, looking for it to go to the other end. Where does it go? To the other end. And we've got a close outside here and a new low. So you could consider that one, and it's fairly bullish. You know, that one could actually be real close to being blue. I'll give it a green because you got everything there you need. It does fit the rules. The only reason I didn't like this was because you're going sideways again. It's not a perfect, it didn't close. It's a couple of ticks off its high. You got 3 bars stacked up, a couple of, at least one of them's a doji. This one looks close. If it was maybe 1 tick down, it'd be a doji. It did close in its upper half, so I think it's a little aggressive going long there. I do like this one. I would have liked it better if it would have ticked below and given you that trap, that failed second entry short, but this is close enough, and this held, and so I figure you're going to at least get back up to test this high. At this point, you would have moved this up. I would have had it up here, and you got enough room now to get out there because you're getting more touches up here now. And so I like that one. This is a breakout pullback long, and there's a double test of that. So You might have considered that one as well, but it's right into that high double top. Um, I'd probably skip it. There's no break of that trend line yet. I mean, I'm willing to give that a green one, but I think there's that late in the day. I think you're better off to wait. And notice what happens. It runs up here. The only reason I marked this one, you still got your trend line going up. There's no break, but look how far away from the EMA that is. We're overdone here. And let me back out here. You've made a double top with the overnight high. That's the main reason I like that. It turns down. You're so far away from the EMA. It's real close to being green, but there is an overshoot here. Notice how we're closing inside. We kind of overshoot it, and we actually got a couple of closes just on the other side. So it's like it's similar to the overshoot right here. And this is really just too steep. That was a nice rally right in there. And this is where right about where the 1:30 news, where the FOMC speaker spoke. I don't even know what he said. I don't know if it affected the market. It does look like it sold off pretty strongly there, though. And that got us into the 2 o'clock hour. So you can see it's mostly sideways all day, and really this is your range. I would call it that right there. That's the way I would look at it. And there's probably a midline in here. There it is. You can see that plain as day. This would probably be another tick higher. All this stuff is, the thing with market geometry, it's real. I don't know why it works. It does. It's real. We use it every day, measured moves and so forth. It keeps us in trades. It helps us to know when trades are not going to work and reversing and where prices are probably going. So believe in that stuff. It's real. Again, I can't explain it, but I see it work every day. I've seen it work for years. And so what I call market geometry, equal moves. The market moves in twos basically, and they're equal generally. So use that stuff. It does work. It does help you. You don't want to trade on that alone, but it's just another tool in our toolbox that helps us know where prices are probably headed and where they're likely to reverse and where they're likely to find support and resistance. So, but that's pretty much it for today. I'm going to keep this one a little shorter. Probably going to be doing them a little later all week this week. I've got some stuff going on in the afternoon, so I'm leaving the office and coming back and doing these, and it's probably going to continue through the rest of this week. So they'll probably be a little later. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up for the day. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. Just don't forget about what's happening on Thursday. Check with your broker to see if there's any changes in your margin. You don't want to get, you don't want to get surprised there and find out you enter a trade and you don't have enough margin and they close it or something on you. So far, according to AMP, their day trading margin is not changing. I haven't seen anything that says it is. I'm going to double check that. But they did say they're going to change their maintenance margin, that's what you got to have if you stay through past the 315 or whatever. So I think it's going to triple or double or triple or something like that. So you may be looking at 10 or 12 grand to stay in a trade overnight, which I never carry one overnight anyway. And if you're smart, you probably won't, especially into something like that. I mean, it could be nothing. It could be all a false alarm, but it could be something serious. So you don't want to take a chance. And if it's crazy on Thursday, the market may halt the market. It could, you could see some limit moves. I don't know if anything like that will happen, but it's possible. There's people that are concerned about that kind of stuff. So just, if the market's too crazy, we'll sit on the sidelines. And that's what I suggest you do just like we do during news hours. When crazy news comes out, we sit on the sidelines till it settles down, then we get back in. And Thursday might be one of those days. So just be aware of it. We'll see what happens and we'll go from there. But I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.